Hello, today we are going to discuss about plastic. Plastic has become one of the most defining materials of modern civilization. It makes our food packaging lighter, our medical equipment safer, and countless consumer products cheaper and more convenient. But this success has come with a hidden cost. Plastic is now found almost everywhere on the earth, from crowded cities to the deepest part of the ocean and even the highest mountain peaks. According to the research highlighted by Foreign Affairs and is supported by organizations such as UNEP and OECD, global plastic production continues to rise rapidly. Production is expected to increase from roughly 450 million metric ton in 2025 to around 680 million metric tons by 2040. As production grows, so does the pollution. What makes plastic different from many other materials is its persistence. Unlike paper or organic waste, plastic can remain in the environment for hundreds of years. Over time, it breaks into smaller pieces but rarely disappears completely. Plastic is no longer just a product we use. It has become part of the Earth's ecosystem and increasingly part of our own bodies. For many years, plastic pollution was viewed mainly as an environmental problem. Today, scientists are discovering that it may also be a major health challenge. Tiny plastic particles, known as microplastics, are now found in the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the food we eat. Researchers have detected microplastic in human blood, lungs, brains, heart, and even placentas. While scientists are still studying the full effects, growing evidence suggests the links between microplastic exposure and a range of health concerns, which includes cardiovascular disease, stroke, cancer risk, infertility, diabetes, and development disorders. These particles come from many sources. Tire wear releases microscopic fragments onto the roads. Paint gradually breaks down into tiny particles. Synthetic clothing sheds fibers during washing. Agriculture, recycling processes, plastic pellets, and personal care products also contribute to the problem. Unlike the visible plastic waste, microplastics are difficult to remove once they enter the environment. This means that every year, more of these particles accumulate in ecosystem and potentially inside the human body, making the prevention increasingly important. Plastic pollution is often discussed separately from climate change, but the two challenges are closely connected. Nearly all conventional plastic is made from fossil fuels, and every stage of its life cycle generates greenhouse gas emissions. The process begins with extracting oil and natural gases. Emissions continue during the manufacturing, transportation, product use, and disposal. When plastic is burned, additional carbon dioxide and harmful pollutants are released into the atmosphere. According to the international studies, if the global plastic industry we were considered a country, it would already rank among the world's largest emitter of the greenhouse gases. By 2040, emissions from the plastic system would rise dramatically, reaching levels comparable to the annual emissions of around 1 billion gasoline-powered cars. This means reducing plastic pollution is not only about cleaner oceans and healthier communities, it is also about slowing the climate change. Every unnecessary plastic item avoided today can help reduce future emissions tomorrow. Many people assume recycling is the solution to plastic pollution. While recycling is important, the reality is that it cannot solve the problem on its own. Globally, only a small fraction of plastic is successfully recycled. Much of the plastic produced today is difficult or uneconomical to recycle because it contains multiple materials, chemical additives, or complex design. As a result, most plastic follows one of the three paths. Either it's burned, buried in the landfill, or it escapes into the environment. Burning plastic releases harmful pollutants and greenhouse gases. Landfills consume valuable land and can leak waste into the surrounding ecosystem. Meanwhile, millions of tons of plastics are never collected at all, ending up in the rivers, ocean, forest, and urban areas. The fundamental challenge is that plastic production is growing faster than waste management systems can keep up. Imagine trying to empty a bathtub while the faucet remains fully open. Unlike production is reduced and systems are redesigned, recycling alone cannot keep the pace with the scale of this problem. Plastic products often appear inexpensive because many of their true costs are hidden. Consumers may pay only few cents for disposable plastic packaging, but society bears much larger costs later. Governments spend billions of dollars collecting, transporting, and disposing of the plastic waste. Healthcare system may face additional costs associated with pollution-related illness. Environmental damage affect the fisheries, tourism, agriculture, and biodiversity. Climate impacts add further economic burdens. Studies suggested that by 2040, waste management costs alone could reach hundreds of billions of dollars globally. Delaying the action would make these costs even higher. Yet there is another side to the story. Investment in better waste management system, reusable product, recycling infrastructure, and sustainable materials could generate a significant economic benefits. They could save governments money, create millions of jobs, improve the public health, and stimulate the innovation. In other words, reducing the plastic pollution is not merely an environmental investment, it is an economic opportunity. Around the world, government, businesses, and international organizations are beginning to recognize that the plastic crisis requires climate systematic change. Encouragingly, many of the solutions already exist. The European Union has introduced measures targeting microplastic, plastic pellets, and other major pollution sources. African nations are exploring regional approaches to phase out the harmful single-use plastic and promote more sustainable alternatives. Meanwhile, countries continue to negotiate a global United Nations treaty aimed at addressing the plastic pollution throughout the entire life cycle. Experts increasingly agree that most effective approach combine multiple strategies. This includes reusable plastic packaging system, produce responsibility laws, improved waste collection, safer material design, biodegradable alternatives, and restrictions on unnecessary single-use products. The key message is simple. The technology largely exists. The challenge is implementing this solution quickly and at a scale. Success depends on political leadership, international cooperation, and long-term commitment. The future is not predetermined. The choices made during the next decade will shape whether the plastic pollution continues to accelerate or begins to decline. A cleaner future would feature reusable products replacing many disposable items, more efficient waste systems, safer materials, and innovative alternatives to conventional plastics. Rivers and oceans would contain less waste. Communities would experience fewer health risks. Greenhouse gases emission would fall, and new industries would create millions of jobs. Researchers suggest that with the existing technologies and policy tools, plastic pollution could be reduced dramatically by 2040. Such progress would deliver the environmental benefits, economic savings, and improve public health simultaneously. Ultimately, the plastic crisis is not just about waste. It is about how societies design the product, manage the resources, and balance the convenience with the responsibility. The question is no longer whether the solution exists. The question is whether government, businesses, and citizens choose to act before the cost becomes irreversible. The future we live to the next generation depends on the decisions we make today. Thank you.